Right then, shall we play a game?
We should play something. We're going to play Twilight 2000 today. Good
You
evening,
know,
everybody. I hope everyone is ready to work and to roleplay and to have some fun. But first, shall we describe and talk about our characters? Or rather, you talk about your characters. Because this is a player-led game. These three, normally four, gentlemen, and I use the term loosely because it is Christmas, have to decide what they're going to do, how they're going to live, how they're going to survive, and maybe how they die. So maybe we need to get to know them a little bit more. Maybe we need to get inside their heads, the madness of it. So we have three of our players here today. So Croy, who are you playing? Tell us about him.
Alright, well my name is Dodie Hume, and I'm from the Scottish borders originally. I worked there as a farmer, and that's where my dad worked, and my father's father, and my father's father's father. Sorry. I took a sidestep into the military when I was a bit younger. It made me, but I left out and took the knowledge I learned on engineering and applied it to agricultural engineering, where I fixed tractors and machines. Looked after horses as well. I've got a family. I've got two sons. One of them's in the army. I've got a daughter and a son. They're looking after the farm. They're supplying food. It's really important. But because I was working in my engineering business, well, I knew that war was coming. There was something I had to do. I had to go back. So I re-enlisted. Now, I find myself in, dire straits, to be fair. It's no the best. I'm in Poland. I've been separated from, everybody. Apart from Yin, is this... Well, we're doing what we can. And we just got the orders that we had to get home. And that's what I'm going to do.
Right, okay. That's good. So, yes, Dodie is a corporal in the British Army. Yes. A good, wholesome, hearty Scotsman. Let's hope he can keep that accent. That'll be good. Right, Mark, Summon Pirate.
Well,
tell us about your character.
Tonight I'm deciding whether or not I've actually got the nerve to attempt a Welsh accent, but I'm going to be playing. I'm going to be playing Evan Parker, Second Lieutenant Evan Parker, who has he was in Calais with a group of intelligence corps up until a few days ago, and he'd been studying kind of weather patterns and aerial reconnaissance data to provide the higher ups with things like the fallout trajectories and things like that, and it was better than the front lines, but he'd had a sick feeling in his stomach for most of that period, because he knows it's only a matter of time. And in that time, he was also distracting himself by planning how he was going to get out of the city when time came. He's a little bit of a self-serving kind of guy, or he was. He used to be working some kind of insurance scam before he was drafted into the war. But he'd also previously had some experience in the intelligence services. So he's been drafted, and now he's found himself in the intelligence corps as an officer. And he would have been there when the Soviets started their assault on the city, and his group would have hastily burned all of the papers and things they'd have had in their forward base before they'd escaped out into the countryside around the city. And something had happened he's now met up with this group of other travellers. And we're now trying to survive out in the wilds of Poland.
Excellent. And we'll get to that where you met up very, very shortly. Right. Jake, tell us about Kobe's. Kobe's first name, his last name?
Yeah, Toby is the first name. Ensham is the last name.
Excellent.
And he hails from a small town called Waltham in Massachusetts, which is close enough to Boston to know that Waltham never really got out of the 1950s, but far away enough that I don't have to do a Boston accent. Kobe was bored from a very early age and decided to join the military, but he didn't do quite well enough there like he expected. That kind of brought him down. So he did wind up leaving the military earlier on and pursued education and got his degrees and, started to work in his field, but never really amounted to much with that either. And continued to have wanderlust until he found himself in a paramilitary unit, where he did finally receive promotion and recognition for his hard work. And, once finding that he was able to succeed there, he actually decided to push himself and move on, and with his higher education, actually get into the special forces. He finds himself in Poland and kind of a little bit off of his unit. He was assigned to, escorting wounded to a field hospital, and ensuring their, well-being in transit. And this is where he finds himself, in this same field hospital, quite a ways away from his regular unit, wherever they are now, basically awaiting his next orders, when I believe some Russians decided to make plans for him.
As the saying goes, the shit hit the fan. Excellent. Right. Fantastic. Okay, so for noting down any information, it is Wednesday, the 21st of June, in the year 2000. At the moment, it's 06:30 local time. But before we get to the events of this morning, let's have a little bit of history about what's gone on. Back in April, the rumours of an offensive started leaking through to the US and NATO forces. A word, Operation Reset. First major offensive to be launched by the US military in well over a year. It started well for the US forces, and the push towards the devastated Polish capital of Warsaw took the Soviet forces by surprise. But it didn't last. After a triumphant first week of NATO gains, the Soviet military woke up. It reacted, and it struck back hard. Coordinated assaults of armour and artillery pound the NATO forces, and the offensive grinds to a halt. The US-led forces desperately move against the advancing Soviets, but the Soviets, more numerous, left both sides battered in a bloody stalemate. In Poland, the US 5th Infantry Division is pushed back and crushed at Kalisz, the survivors fleeing into the woods. The final order from HQ is short to the point. Good luck. You're on your own now. All of you ended up at a spot 10 kilometers north of Kalisz, the 212th Field Surgical Hospital Unit. Lieutenant Parker, along with Corporal Hume, who actually do come from the same regiment. So they don't know each other well, but you do know that you served in the same regiment, which is on your character sheets. I can't remember at the moment. I'm old and it's Friday. You found yourself at the 212th Field Surgical Unit. You guys, in the end, after doing your weather things, Lieutenant Parker has a chemical detection unit, and he was doing some tests on the northern Kalisz area when the Soviets struck and started pushing back against the 5th Infantry Division. You were on secondment to the US forces. Anyway, meanwhile, 10 kilometers north of Kalisz, the 212th Field Hospital's surgical units was in a small clearing surrounded by woods, dealing with the torn and broken bodies that modern warfare inflicts. The fighting was far away, or so they thought. The rain had stopped, and as dawn broke, a mist had formed, and as all members of the hospital units soon find out, war was coming to them. Sprockets could be heard in the mist. Dr. Robinson was outside the operating tent, a 5-year veteran and a captain in the US Army. Her smocks were covered in the blood of those she'd operated on. Her eyes revealed that too many had not survived. She'd heard the sprockets. Sighed as she realised more casualties were being brought in, more bodies for her to try and put back together. Tears pricked the corner of her eyes. It had been almost 48 hours since she'd last slept. Looking for the M113 medical tracks to appear, she wiped her eyes, and gathering her strength, she stared off into the distance. Her attention was caught by dark shapes as they appeared out of the mists. Terror froze in her eyes as the pop-pop of machine gun fire erupted into the silence of the obscured horror unfolding in front of her. The loud crack of a main gun rolled off in the front, the shockwave sending a shimmer through the mists, drew her eyes as the high explosive shell impacted in a Bradley armoured fighting vehicle, the turret launching ahead of the bright orange flame that licked at its underside, leaving no chance of survival for the men inside. All hell let loose. Bullets and tracer rounds came from what seemed like all directions. Explosions shook the trees. Tortured screams, joining those of the men falling under this terrible barrage. Turning desperately, looking for cover, it was when she felt the heat first of the hot metal as it entered through her skin of her back, her medical knowledge already surely calculating the damage it was causing her. She fell to the dirt, her mind continued to whirl as the shock of being hit mingled with the confusion, cacophony of noise, pressure, and light and heat that surrounded her. Her hearing dimmed as the final thought crept across her fading mind. This was it. The end. Our Special Forces sergeant grabbed the wounded doctor, throwing her in the back of a medical Humvee. Lieutenant Parker and our Corporal Hume, along with a American radio operator called Anthony Michaels, Specialist Michaels, also managed to jump into this Hummer. Putting it into gear, you go racing out of the devastation behind you. T-72 tanks, BMP armoured fighting vehicles, shooting and firing, opening fire on the wounded, shooting anyone that moved. And as the firing died down, as you raced in the darkness, as morning broke out of the area, you find yourself a little bit away from the crap, the death, the destruction, and in a small clearing, taking a breath. You find it's clear. No sprockets, no gunshots. Exhausted, tired, wounded. A few gun holes, bullet holes in the side of the ambulance Hummer. And you take a moment, find a spot, and take a breath. You guys camp overnight. Firing in the distance still goes on, but it's quite away. Nothing close by. Exhausted, you set up the patterns for the night. Sleeping for Dodie and Lieutenant Parker. The doctor injured in the back of the ambulance. Specialist Michaels and the wounded Captain Robinson in the back of the Humvee. Our sergeant of the Special Forces, Toby, you spent the night on watch, having able to rest in the exodus away from the field hospital units. You know things are bad. You've got a couple of Brits, a wounded, badly wounded doctor, another field medic, Rick Grayson. Seems decent to be trying to help the captain as he's been going along. And the peace of that night just gave you a sense of what could be if you were away from the fighting. And that is where our story begins. It's the morning of the 21st of June. It's 06:30 local time. The rain has stopped. There's a slight mist in the June sunshine. Toby, you're on watch. No fire set. A camouflage net covering the ambulance Hummer. You hear a little bit of murmuring from the back from the wounded captain. And you just kind of check and you can see the English corporal and the Scottish corporal. Well, English corporal to you. The Brits are waking up as the morning lights. And you realise you've got no coffee. You've got no tea. Heck, you don't even know how much food or water you've got. It's summer in Poland, but it's still not great. And this is where we begin our journey. Lost in Poland. Where do you go? What do you do? How do you survive? And this is where we set our scene. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to Poland.
Now, Parker's an intelligence officer.
He is, yes.
Did he manage to escape with like a map of the area?
He does have a map of the area, yes.
So I think then the first thing he will do, he will grab this map, or I will do, is I'll grab this map and I'll lay it out on the I'll call it hood for Jake's benefit.
Okay.
The Hummer.
Yep. You can see
I
that
know what a bonnet is. You put it on your head.
Specialist Grayson, your combat medic, Brian's character, is just in the Hummer, just doing some medical checks on the good captain. And as he's not here, we'll actually do it properly. We'll get him to see if he can identify what is wrong for her. So we'll do this in public.
Okay.
God, my voice is going already. Do you think he's going to push it? Do you think he want to identify how badly injured she is?
Now, this is kind of a new system for us. Is this like in Call of Cthulhu? If they push this roll, if they mess it up, do things get infinitely worse?
Not infinitely worse, but he will get a little bit stressed.
Oh,
with this
okay.
particular roll.
I mean, it's okay if he goes nuts, right? As long as you don't kill him.
That's true, yeah. You're not going to kill him with this.
Hope you're
So
okay with that, Brian.
We'll say that he's going to
Push
push.
He is, because he seems the kind of guy that would... That's not great.
Oh.
That is not great, is it? So we started off really well.
So let's
Okay.
record the first roll of the campaign for posterity.
Yep. Oh, dear
Only
God.
push if you need to. Just a quick reference, in combat, if you push, you get a chance of damaging your weapon. And that will automatically reduce the reliability of the weapon. When the reliability goes down to 0, no matter how many times you click that button, it will not shoot. It will not work. You have to spend time working on it. Anyway, we'll leave Specialist Grayson in the back of the Hummer.
Okay.
Can see you guys all get out. You can see there's no fire going. And although it's June in Poland, it's a little bit cold and it's still a little bit wet from the previous day's rain.
Mm.
You gather up outside and you get your map out. Okay.
Yeah.
So Jake and Croy, move across to the map screen. I think I can move you, but I have no idea how.
You right click.
Ah, there we go. Right click. There we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yay! So, if you look on your map to Calais, it is it's got a red diamond in it, and you can see there's a little icon. The player character's location, the ambulance Hummer. So,
Yeah.
you are basically and it's an open area. You're not close to the road. You're off the road, which is what you use to escape out of Calizon. There's a little bit of trees, although it's mainly flat, open farmland and suburban areas. The road out used out of Calais was littered with wrecked vehicles. There's the odd tree and some rocks in the area, and you've just basically parked up near a couple of trees, you know, quite a way off the road, and used the camouflage net on the ambulance just to cover it up. But you're far away off the road, and you haven't seen any traffic going southeast. So anyway, you guys are there. There's no tea on for the Brits. No fire. You're going to have to cope.
Well, that wasn't the best sleep I've had. Bloody hell.
I don't think it was any better for the captain, to be honest. Looking over at that map, where do you suppose there might be a Polish hospital that we could get to? I mean, I've seen these combat medics do miracles, but I think the captain probably deserves and could benefit from a proper hospital.
Chances of us finding one out here are pretty remote.
Any of the small towns, Turek, Unijo, and I'm going to brutally murder these Polish towns, and I apologize to anyone that is Polish here. I'll try.
Okay.
There may not be a hospital, but there's always a chance that you'll find a doctor's surgery. Even though this area you're in, it's fairly rural, but there are, you know, farmhouses, there are urban settlements. You might find a post office or a gas station, a petrol station scattered around.
Yeah.
So
I guess...
anywhere you go, there's a chance. But the more built up the area, the more chance you have to finding something that may not want you to help them.
Yeah. I think that's kind of the...
All you know is that in Calais, you've got the 35 Guard Division with their tanks and their BMPs and the chaos that happened. You know from this map, and the units you see on here are the last recorded information of units that you know about, Lieutenant Park.
Right.
So the blue icons are NATO forces, the red icons are the Soviet forces.
Right, and a lot
so
of these
you know
towns, these smaller settlements, they're all like would considered neutral, would we, or we just don't know yet? We don't know.
You don't know.
There. Okay.
For all you know, they could have the local police officer, the Polish police officer, could be, you know, protecting the town and running it like his own force, and his own private army could be there. Basically, the war's been going on for about 4 years. Okay. This Operation Reset was the first major offensive in well over a year. Before this, pretty much for the last 9 months, it's been stalemate, small skirmishes, as the Soviet and the NATO forces basically set up cantonments in the town where they took over control of the town. There's also bandits and marauders. There's Poles, there's Polish nationalists that, you know, respect the NATO forces that, you know, they were involved in. Poland fought on the side of NATO against the Soviets. There was a change in the previous past history where the Warsaw Pact did break up, even though the Soviet Union kind of stayed strong. There was no perestroika, no Gorbachev. So yeah. So you know that, for example, in Lodz, Osterkrow, there are Soviet forces. So anything that you see on the map is information that you know of. So north, up near, there is some. One is a Netherlands force, and there is some German troops north. There's some Polish forces. Warsaw is under control of Soviets. And there's been a wild rumor of a free city south called Krakow, which is well south of your current position. But that's been rumored that It's a free city. Anyone's welcome there as long as you keep the fighting out. But anywhere could have a chance of finding medical supplies. You are literally running in a vehicle that has been converted to run on alcohol. Gasoline, petrol, diesel, very, very scarce. You very rarely see aircraft or helicopters flying across because there's no aviation fuel for them. There's been a limited nuclear exchange in Europe of tactical nuclear weapons. And there has been cruise missiles and ICBMs that have impacted into the United States and into Britain and into the Western European nations. You don't know if your families are still alive, your friends are still alive. Radio communication is very, very hard. EMP from the tactical nukes and the nukes have wiped out a lot of technology. The fantastic Windows 98 was launched, but, it was war, so it didn't go anywhere, really. PCs are running on Windows 95.
It's on the plus side, though. Windows ME never happened, right?
Windows ME never happened, yes.
That brings you back.
Okay.
So really, the choice you have as players is you basically pick a direction, and then we start traveling that way.
Okay.
Well, I think since we're in rural area, even if we find an old or wizened or very knowledgeable veterinarian, they may be able to help the captain here. I
Mr.
think we have
Parker.
to tend to the wounded as the first priority.
What's
Yes,
your
Dod.
orders? What are we doing?
I don't think rank means much now. Do you, Dod?
Well, aye, but it's aye been. We can't just be changing things now, just because we've had our arses handed to us. We don't know what's going on out there. It could well be that I'm no one for letting tradition drop.
You could see Specialist Michaels just kind of looks up. Hey, LT, I got this radio. I'm going to just see if I can hear anything. So
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll just see what I can figure out from the local area, see if I pick up any signals. That shit is not far away. So we need to make sure we move, when we move, LT, in the right direction, okay?
Sure.
Kobe here, he's good with a gun. That's good. I like that. How was a radio operator at HQ? Last time I fired my gun was basic training. Right. He just kind of turns to his radio, puts the headphone on one ear, and he starts turning it on. And you see, it's a radio from that area. It's not got a great range, but he might pick up something. At least if there's anyone using radios locally, he may be able to pick up something, even if he may not be able to understand it, because military radios are generally encrypted.
And there's nothing we could do about that, is there? What would he be actually?
He will know the encryption codes for the US forces, as in 3-4 days ago.
Yeah.
But once the 5th Division got over on at Calais, more than likely any other NATO command units would have changed encryption signals, because they don't know if any of the encryption radios was actually got into the Soviet hands. So we'll make a roll for Mr. Specialist Michaels. And again, I'll do this publicly. I like this idea. It's one thing I like about Foundry.
Dodie, in the meantime, I heard you worked in intelligence?
No, that was me. Parker. Yeah.
Parker. Oh. You wouldn't
That's
happen
right.
to know of any caches, military caches?
Well, that's a good point. I guess if Parker knows about them, then other people would know about them too. So
Quite possibly, yeah.
If we did know of any, we'd have to move pretty quick to get to them first, wouldn't we?
Yes.
Assuming we didn't want to share this stuff.
That's it. Basically, you guys are on your own. military command structure in this area has fallen down. The command HQ units of the 5th Mechanized got totally overrun and devastated. You don't even know if there's anyone else like. There's probably survivors like yourself, but you saw what the Soviets are willing to do. They came in,
took out
to a surgical hospital. They may not have known it was a surgical hospital, but they came in and they just basically came in and started devastating and killing everyone. Looking at your map, the other thing you need to consider is the rivers, because you've got to cross these rivers.
Yeah.
So you've got to look at where you are, where you want to go, and how you're going to cross these rivers.
Yeah. So I've got all these guys that we're kind of gathered around the hood of the Humvee with a map spread across it, and I'm pointing up to the north here and saying, we know there are Allied forces up here. Should probably head that way. And then I point to that village, or I'm not sure if it's a village or town. Conan.
Yep.
Do we know how big that place actually is? There may be a hospital.
Let's have a. What have you got that you can? You speak Polish, your character, doesn't he?
He speaks Russian.
He speaks Russian. Let's.
I mean, I got recon as a.
Yeah, let's make a recon roll for you.
Okay.
Yeah, just a recon roll. So click your recon, no modifiers or anything like that.
Just a standard straight roll.
Just a straight roll.
And we got, success.
Ooh, we have a success.
Yeah.
Okay. Conan itself is a smallish city in central Poland on the Water River. It's capital the Conan County, and it is located within the Greater Poland Voivodeship something. Yeah.
Okay.
I think from where you were looking, I mean, it's probably been fairly devastated. I know, probably at its height, 40 to 50,000 people. But whether there's still 40 to 50,000 people there when there's very, very little food, and you don't know if the Russians have been through there or anything, but it's a small city.
What do you think?
A better chance in a big city than to just find a vet here. Bigger cities might also be a little bit more insulated from the war than smaller places that they just tend to get pulled over.
Looting may have been a problem.
Speaking of loot, while we're around, and since it's the morning time, would I be able to do a scrounger roll for the area we're in outdoor areas who fields? Maybe I can scrounge some leaves that might pass for some, OKT for my British friends.
You would need to. You could go out and do a scrounging roll, but you need to spend some time doing it. So, what we'll do is we'll identify where you plan on going, and then you can look at going out maybe for a couple of hours, doing some scrounging to see what you can find.
Well, are we sure that's a good idea? Captain's.
No, we got to get the captain to medical aid first.
You can see Rick comes out. Specialist Grayson. He kind of just. It's a cracked spine. The bullet went through it. She's got no feeling in her legs. She's unconscious at the moment. She wants to see you, Lieutenant. Please don't spend too much time talking to her. She's badly wounded. She needs surgery. We need to get her to someone that can help her, and as quickly as we possibly can. Taking her out of the Humvee would be a bad idea. It could kill her. We just need to be careful. If we're driving, if we can stay on road, that would be fantastic. But if we have to go off road, there's a risk we could lose her. But she wants to see you in a minute, LT.
Right. God, will you see if the cam gets packed up yet?
Sorry, I missed that. It's the Welsh
God,
accent.
yeah. Dodie. Would you pack up everything for us, old boy?
Aye, no problem, Mr. Parker. Mr. Parker, if I may speak freely.
I just nod, yeah.
I walk up to you and just kind of, big fella,
Yeah.
lean down in your ear. Did you mean what you said about things not being like they were? You know, that everything's changed. Is that how it is?
And I just kind of look into look at Dodie, and I'm saying, and I don't really say anything to him. I just kind of look away and walk towards the Hummer.
I'd stand and watch, and then just.
You can see Grayson comes over and just puts his hand on your shoulder, just taps you on the shoulder, shrugs, and starts heading back to the Hummer.
Hey, Dottie, the LT told us to prepare and get things
Aye.
ready to move out. I think that probably.
Aye.
Just
We're getting on with it, and just carry on, like I was told.
Okay, so yeah, you basically just start getting ready to pack up, making sure that your weapons are cleaned and your weapons are ready to fight. The only thing you've got to do is basically just decide a direction you're going to. Take the camouflage netting off the Humvee, fold it, and put it in the back. Meanwhile, Evan, you can see the doctor, Captain Robinson. She's still basically in her smocks. There's bandages around her abdomen and back, and she's lying on her side at the moment. You can see she's conscious.
I go in. I smile at her and I say, if you don't mind me saying, you don't look so good.
I don't feel too good. Look, unless I get surgery, I'm not going to last much longer. Evan, Lieutenant Parker. Sorry. Yes, Parker. We have to keep these guys alive. We have to get them out of here. And we have to get them back to safety. I'm not going to be able to do much. It's going to be down to you. You're going to have to lead them. I don't know how much combat you've seen, but you're going to need to fight. If the shit in hell that we saw came out of the woods is anything to do by this fight, survive, it's not over. Can I count on you?
Well, you just concentrate on getting well, eh?
I'll do my best.
Well, just stay alive for a bit longer. We're heading north, all right?
North, away from the Soviets is good. Any sort of surgery unit will be, if anything, civilian. And if we can find some antibiotics, that would be good. I
Can't promise you anything, but we might find a vet, all right?
That's... I can't feel my legs. There's a chance that the bullet caught my spine. If it comes to a situation where I'm holding you back, getting these men out of here, you leave me. You understand, Lieutenant? That is an order.
Let's stop that silly talk now, eh?
Do what you need to do to survive. Remember, we're not monsters. We're not criminals. We represent our countries, our units. Don't turn into them. And just your eyes just kind of drift off into unconsciousnness.
I just squeeze her hand.
Breathing
That's what
just
happens.
slows down, but it's still very, very shallow in there.
So I'm kind of remembering now that from the map, there's quite a distance. Each of these hexes is how many kilometers?
It's 10 kilometers from flat edge to flat edge. It's 10 kilometers.
It's quite a trek then to.
You can push, but there's always going to be a chance that something's going to happen. But yeah, you can drive there in less than the rest of the day.
But I mean, Grayson was suggesting that the captain would require roads rather than off-road.
Roads would be better. See, Grayson, looks, the bumps not so good, but I know that we're not going to be unnecessary. Stay off on the roads.
Well, let's go as far as we can, eh?
Okay. I'll make sure she's as settled as she can. And you can see he just goes and just does some more checking on her, moves a pillow up, and he's got some saline solution hanging up, and he just starts applying some more bandages to the small of her back. I'll be busy keeping her alive as best I can.
Yeah, I kind of climb out the back of the Hummer then, and I'm kind of standing there, just closing my eyes for a moment. I'm thinking, I don't need this shit.
No, you don't. But you got it. Okay, just for reference, the Hummer itself, it's a medical version of the American Humvee. The back, it is a canvas top, so it's not a hard top, no armor protection on it. On one side, there is a framework with two stretcher bunks. She is at the moment on the bottom bunk. On the other side, the stretcher bunks was removed, and there are four. There's a bench where basically it fits 4 people. So, and then you've got 2 people that can fit up front. It is not armed. It has half a tank of alcohol fuel. You also have 73 liters in jerry cans that are actually in the back of the Hummer as well. So you've got three 20-litre jerry cans and a 20-litre jerry can, which is not full. You are going to use some fuel getting up to Colin, but fuel might be something you can use to trade. Okay?
Sure, and we may need that when we get them.
Yes.
Pay for the surgery or whatever, assuming we can find any.
That's it. You've got to find someone that can do the job. You never know. Grayson, although he's not a surgeon, he's a combat medic. If you can get the instruments he needs, some some penicillin, some anesthetic, he may be able to perform the surgery, but it's going to be riskier than a doctor doing it. But he may be able to do it.
Come to that then.
So that looking at your map, if you go north, you'll come up to the road, which is the road from Kaliz to Terek.
Do we know if there's anything on the way, where there's been any use of any kind of biological or nuclear?
Not that you're aware of.
Okay.
If you look at the map itself, where the tactical nukes, it is settlements and cities that have got lots of dots. Like if you look at Poznan, that got hit by a tactical nuke.
Okay.
None of these small cities got hit by nukes. But what you'd have to say is that the Turek town, the city or town of Turek. You don't know exactly what it is without, having a think about it or looking at it. That's on the road from Lodz to Calais. There's 2 roads from Lodz, and that is where there is another Soviet Union. So
Yeah,
you need to think about.
That's why I thought north rather than heading to Turek. I thought Conan might be a.
Yeah. It's more likely to be safe, but you're gonna either have to cross the road, and then you go through the hex with the woods in.
Can we stay on the road? I mean, if we were, is it likely we're going to encounter?
You have a chance of encountering people on road or off road.
Right. I mean,
if the Soviet forces are in Calais and they come from Lodz, they're either going to go via the southern road, and there is a force of NATO troops. That's the remnants of the 5th Mechanized down there.
Right.
That's pretty much how, anyway. So they're either going to come down the southern road to Calais to reinforce Calais, or they're going to use the northern road.
Oh, shit.
In that case, you're going to have them coming through or past Turek and then down south. So you could try the road, but more than likely it is going to be very, very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, our troops outside. You take down the camouflage net, fold it quite skillfully. You can see that lovely red cross on the side of the Hummer's canvas top is there. Whether it's going to provide you with any sort of protection, probably not. Okay. Who out of the 2 of you has the highest recon score?
It would be C for myself with the base die D10.
That's highest.
Okay. So you are basically just keeping an eye on things. Can you make then a recon roll, Kobe? You can add +1 because Dodie is there and he'll be assisting you because he's there with you, keeping watch. Let's see if.
Okay, I just moved it up 1 for the purpose of the roll.
Ooh, very nice. Okay. As you are just putting away the camouflage net while Parker is talking with the captain, you, Kobe, hear something you haven't heard in a while. And it's more apparent to you because of your training in Special Forces. You hear the whirring of helicopter blades. And definitely not a Black Hawk. Definitely not a Huey. That's still a little bit in service in the US. But you definitely hear, and as you just kind of look, you just see fairly high above you, probably haven't noticed you because of the trees you're there. You see a helicopter with the red Russian star on it. A little bit of smoke kind of coming out of one engine, but it doesn't seem to be in too much distress. It looks like it's probably just a very worn out vehicle heading towards Calais and heading towards the devastation of the battle. And you just kind of see it in above you, just flying over. You kind of automatically kind of take cover and you kind of raise your weapon up towards it. But it's kind of quickly out of the way, and there's a little bit of black smoke coming out of the engine. Whether they've jury-rigged it or the fuel they're using is bad, but it's definitely looking a bit rattly, and it sounds a bit rattly, but definitely heading past you. And again, you just see it pass over the trees, heading towards Calais. And that's the first time you've seen a helicopter in probably 6 months. In the Special Forces work you've been doing, you've been using either a Polish UAZ Jeep or a Hummer.
Dottie, let's mount into the Humvee and get moving. These Russians are too well equipped. Got to get out of here now.
Aye.
Okay. And as this happens, you kind of Parker kind of get out the back. Okay. So the plan is north.
LT, we just saw a helicopter, Russian helicopter heading towards Calais. They're way too good in terms of the way that they're equipped. We should make tracks like right now.
Well, it means they've got fuel.
Well, they got helicopters, they got pilots, they've got resources. Is everything okay with the captain? What'd you say? What are our next orders?
Well, she didn't say very much. What the hell fucking accent was that? Anyway. We're going to head north. She's in a bad way. But we can't take the road. And
Maybe,
I go back to the map and I'm pointing. I'm pointing at the road.
Yeah, there will be smaller roads. There, I mean, 10 kilometers. Then there may be minor roads you can find or tracks that you can find. A lot of the open area in where you are is a lot of farmland. A few trees scattered around. A few areas are forested. But these forests north of you probably have tracks going around the outside or through them. You may be able to find it. You know what the forests are like in northern Germany. You know, there's plenty of fire break areas through them, tracks through them for traveling through. So you may be able to find a dirt track. It's not, I mean, even a concrete road though at the moment, a tarmac road. More than likely, it's going to be rough as anything anyway.
So maybe very little difference between taking the road and going cross country anyway.
Yeah, I mean, going cross country will reduce your travel speed, so it'll take you a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But because you're taking a little bit longer, you're going a little bit slower. You're off a road. You will be able to maybe able to go a little bit more carefully because you are going straight through.
Okay.
Dodie's reckon. I mean, he's been in Poland for long enough to see the similarities between the south of Scotland in terms of the geography and the hills and the forests, and he feels reasonably at home in this area. Like he kind of appreciates some of the countryside and so he's kind of looking at it from that perspective.
Okay, right. Before we get going on anything else, can you each click off or remove one of your rations of food, one of your rations of water? We'll use that as your rations of food and water for the day.
Oh, it hurts to delete it.
It hurts to delete it, but you've got to do it.
I don't think I've got any.
You don't? Okay.
No.
Let me have a
Did you
look.
roll your D6 with character
Right.
creation?
No, probably not. So can you quickly just roll a d6 twice for food and water?
Okay.
So d6 for how many rations of food you've got.
Oh,
So you've got 6 food,
yeah. And 5 water.
5 water. Nice.
Yeah.
Let me just add that in.
Thank you, sir.
Of course.
Okay, so well, that's not too bad, Dodie, is it? You obviously gave a lot of your food away, obviously. Right. Let's get your characters up. Dodie first. Yeah, I did your ammo, but I didn't use food and water.
Can't eat that anyway.
Or rather, these are filled rations, Donnie. So you got one food. Well, I won't put the food in there because
It's gone now.
It's gone now. You've eaten it for the day. Let's put in Evan's food. Oh God.
There's my boy.
There's your boy. Yeah. I'm going to edit that one to say 5 now. Because you had 6 on the food.
Yeah, 6 food, 5 water. Thank you, sir.
There you go. Cool.
Cheers, sir. Mmm.
Delicious.
Now, the only problem you've got, both for Dodie and for Lieutenant Parker, is these are American MREs you've been eating. Yeah. It's not what you used to.
It's just whatever we managed to grab from the camp, the medical
Basically,
camp
yeah,
as we
it's
left.
just freeze-dried food that you rehydrate and heat up. Yeah. Yeah. It's edible. Just. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so who is going to be driving? And who's going to be sitting in the back? So who's going to be driving and who's going to be taking watch as the vehicle command?
I won't be driving. I know that.
Dodie could be.
Okay, Dodie's driver.
I could probably stay in back then with the captain.
I'll sit up front with Dodie.
Okay, so Evan will be our on watch man then.
Okay. I like to think that it's that I was good at that.
Yes. I'm sure you're good at watching.
Yeah. Looking at things. That's my bag.
You are an intelligence officer, so yes. Okay. So you. Go on.
While I'm in back, would I be able to use medical aid in any way to help the either the medic or just to kind of, make sure that things don't get any worse for the captain?
You can see Rick's in the back, and yeah, you can assist him, just making sure she's strapped in, not going to be affected by too many bumps and knocks in the road. So yes, you can do it. We'll let Rick make a roll. I think
The
he's
Rick
got
roll.
better. Excuse me a minute. I think as the combat medic, he's probably got better skills. He's got medical aid C and empathy of B. What have you got?
He's better than I. Yes, I got B and D.
So I'll roll a medical aid for him, and we'll have +1 for you assisting him. Okay, he seems to do what he does. You're not sure. You think it's helped, but she's as strapped in as she can be.
Right then. Is everybody strapped in?
I think they are.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. North is it then, Mr. Parker?
I think it is.
Yep.
Okay. Right, Dodie, make a driving roll for us, please. Let's see if you don't break an axle on your first driving.
Words. Those
Now we're
words.
gonna.
How bad could it?
Now we are gonna cross the road at some point, aren't we?
5.
Hey! Oh wow! Oh shit!
Okay. Yep. Right. Well. Yep. No real successes,
That's
Yeah.
0 failures.
but 0 failures. Yes. Okay. You start moving north into the next hex.
Yeah,
we'll move
won't
into the
take
next hex.
take extra care as we're going to cross that main road, aren't we? So.
Well, you are later, yes.
Yeah.
Right. Can you make a recon roll now, please? Okay. That's not so good, is it?
No. We're doing great, guys. Don't worry.
And it's not roll 20. Okay, 2 seconds. Ba, 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 ba.
Oh.
Did you see that?
You sneaky dog. Sneaky old dog, you.
Right, did I sneaky dog it? Did it not show for you? Excellent. I do like Foundry. Foundry's good. Okay. So you are traveling. It's slow going. You're about halfway through your journey through this hex. And there's a little bit of trees there. You've not got to the road, but you can see the road in the distance. Dodie, you're taking it fairly slowly, but it's hard going.
Right.
You're not. It's not an easy ride. Cross country is, this is a 4-wheel drive vehicle, but it's still quite difficult to actually traverse. Parker, you are kind of just keeping an eye out, looking left and looking right. And as you're going through into an area, there's a few rocks and before the road. And the road is probably 200 meters ahead of you. And off to the right, you can see some more trees. And you just see some smoke coming out of the trees. Not see anything in there, but you kind of just pull Dodie to a stop.
Yeah.
Just so you can look. You can't see anything. You can see the smoke, but it's not a big raging fire. It's not the trees aren't on fire. You'd have to estimate maybe a campfire or something.
Oh, right.
That's kind of just through the trees. And you're kind of looking, and ahead you can see the road a couple hundred meters away. It's not too far away. There's nothing on the road at the moment, but you do just see this fire in the trees. Okay, you in the back kind of feel the vehicle stop, Kobe. Kind of just can't hear anything, but the vehicle kind of stops. Remember, you guys haven't got radios between you, so it's kind of reached through the hatch in the back of the Hummer. Okay, what are you guys doing now?
Do I smell anything specific? Do I smell any smoke or?
No, you can't. You can't smell any smoke at all. All you can smell from where you are is the foul fumes of this alcohol-converted vehicle that's burning fuel made from potatoes and whatever else you're able to find, or whatever else able to find to produce some alcohol fuel for it. The alcohol fuel is not as efficient as gasoline or as petrol or diesel, and it does a bit more harm to the engines. But you don't smell any smoke apart from the smoke of the vehicle.
I'm going to point towards the smoke and kind of say to Dodie, looks like other survivors. We should probably get across the road, though.
Aye.
Are there any trees on the other side of the road that we can get and take cover in? Or...
Just at the edge of the hex.
Yeah.
If you look at where the hex you're in now.
Yeah.
You can get right to the edge of the hex. You're in this hex now. You can get to the edge of the forest. There's a little bit of cover.
Yeah.
You're in a wooded area.
Say to Dodie then, do you think we'll get in those trees over there?
Aye, no trouble. There'll be an access track. They got to get the machines up there to plant these things. It's there's no other way of doing it. There'll be roads. Tell the guys at the back just to hold on though, because I don't want to be spending any more time than I need to on the road, eh?
So I
Okay.
put the canvas flat behind me, and I just shout back, "Hold on!"
Okay.
That's ominous.
Well, you know what I'm going to make you do, Croy. You know it's going to happen.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be
It's
fine.
going to be absolutely awesome.
I see no problem here.
Let's just have another quick little roll just for that dramatic interlude of
Go for
you
it, Dodie.
crossing the road and doing it. Make that driving roll. Look at
Way!
Oh.
Nailed it.
you beautifully kind of get through the off-road bit on the field you're in. You plow through a gap in the hedge, skillfully take the Humvee, again, very carefully, across the road. And you're kind of in the edge of this northern hex, right on the corner of that wood. You kind of just get into cover and stop. It's taken you most of the day. You know that Kobe, you're getting a bit tired. You haven't had any sleep. You slept overnight, so you were resting in the back of the Hummer during the journey. But were you gonna try to go to sleep in it? Was that the plan, or were you staying alert?
Last night, as described in the intro, I was.
You were on watch.
Yeah.
Yes, you were on watch. So you need to sleep for a good 6 hours some point during this day. Otherwise, you're going to be under the effects of fatigue. So were you trying to stay awake, or were you actually going to try and sleep while in the back of the vehicle?
I think after doing my best to assist the medic and seeing that I wasn't really effective at all, I probably would have stayed out of his way and tried to get some rest. How much rest I'd get on these back roads and then up and down over another road, I'm not sure, but I would probably take the sleep where I can get it.
Sounds good. Okay, let's.
Yeah. Known for their comfort, these Humvees.
So they are. Yeah, they've got a lovely bench. Well, to be honest, you could probably one of you can always take a shift sleeping on the bunk above the captain, because it's a way of laying down. So there you go. Okay, right. So you get across and you kind of stop and park in the woods in the north of this hex. So you've traveled about 10 kilometers and it's off-road, so it's taken you a fair amount of the morning and the day. You're being very careful in your driving style. You haven't seen any military vehicles on the road. As you crossed, you would have seen some wreckage and some crashed vehicles or bits of machinery that have just been discarded, but you haven't seen anyone. But you cross into and park into the forest. You are going to need to do a bit of scouting, and you need to check on the captain before you go maybe any further, because you are going to have to find a way through this forested area if you're going to go through the forest, or whether you're going to skirt around it. That's something you're going to need to decide. So, you park up. What are you doing about the fire? You can still see it in the distance over the other side of the road. Are you just leaving it, moving on?
I don't suppose anybody's got any binoculars.
I don't know. Have you got any binoculars? Do you have any binoculars?
I don't know.
You don't have any binoculars?
I'll ask the lads. I don't suppose any of you lads have got any binoculars, have you?
Well, you can check whether you have. I'll check whether Rick has.
I only have some night vision. Not gonna help us.
Okay.
I just shake my head.
What?
Okay, I tell you what. Roll one of you. Let's have Parker roll. Roll a D100. Let's see if there's a hidden pair of binoculars on the Humvee. No.
32.
No. There's no binoculars on the Hummer.
Okay, so
Maybe something you need to work on getting. Yes.
Yeah, are we? Is the intention for us to kind of camp on the edge of this wood here, then, so the Hummer is hid?
You're the officer. What are you doing?
Well, I mean, is it dark? Is it getting dark?
It's not dark yet. It's afternoon, but food and water. You know, maybe you need to. I mean, how much food have you guys got? Maybe you need to look at what you've got.
Yes.
Yeah, I think. Well, between the three of us, we probably have enough for 3 days combined.
We should pool everything.
Okay.
What about you,
Okay.
Dodie?
Well, I've not got much, I'm afraid. I managed to get out with ammo, but before I was able to grab any other supplies, I just got these and I just pull out my 2 canteens of water, which I think's all I've got left. That's it.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm looking at Grayson.
You
what
can
about
see.
you?
I got 4 MREs. I've got 4 water. Not a lot, I'm afraid.
Right, where we pool everything.
Okay.
We share it out equally, yeah?
The captain has nothing. Okay.
Well,
So-
and I assume I'll take off 1 water and 1 field ration for the captain for yesterday.
No, she used the last that she had.
Okay.
We're going to say that she is okay at the moment with it. Whether Grayson used some of his or Michael's used some of his, we're not won't mess around with PC's rations too much unless we have to.
Right, well, it looks like there's a campfire across the road. Maybe they have
Campfire
supplies.
or wreckage.
Well, if it's a campfire, then it means people felt safe enough to cook. Maybe the area is not too bad.
They could be civilians and not know any better.
Aye, more likely.
Now, you didn't see anyone from the trees that you passed, but you have no idea if they saw you passing. The fact that you are in a vehicle with an engine, they may have heard or seen you. So the question is, do you want to find out or not?
I'd like to avoid any violence if we could.
Yeah.
I can drive us up the forest side a wee bit more. It's a fair distance. You can see it. Good couple of clicks up
is
there.
there any chance that these people cooking might have been survivors from the 212? I mean, we're still close enough that if there were other survivors from there, maybe there's another doctor that escaped in that group.
Possibly. You see,
Could be
Grayson,
lighting.
I can stay with the LT and Michael's. He can cover me. 3 of you want to go and check it out, LT? You know, we can protect the Hummer. I want to take the Hummer back across the road, though. Not with the captain in the state she's in.
No, the Hummer stays here.
And that means that continuing on will be going closer to the campsite anyway, so we better check it out before we do that.
Okay. Okay, so you guys put the camouflage net around the Hummer.
Yep.
Okay.
Cut a couple of branches and
A couple of twigs on it, that'll improve your chances of not finding it again. Yeah, definitely. With your skills at stealth, I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. Okay. So, you head into the trees, the 3 of you. Are you leaving your backpacks here and running lights? Basically, if you have to make any mobility rolls and you are wearing your backpack with gear on it, you get a minus to any mobility rolls. If you remember all the war movies you've seen, they always take off their backpacks first and just take the bare necessities of what they need for combat, if combat was to occur.
It's not only that. If anything was to happen to us, we don't want to leave what supplies we have in enemy hands or whatever. So
if you look on your character sheet, on your character sheets, you got your equipment is listed as weapons, armor, gear, and your ammunition.
Yeah.
On your on the tab, you've got a star and you've got a little backpack symbol.
Yeah.
So anything that you want to leave in the backpack, click the backpack symbol. So, for example, Dodie, he's got 1 med kit, and he's not got a lot else in his backpack. He's got basically 3 clips of ammunition that's in the backpack. He's got 3 that's on him. His fatigues are on him, and he's got 1 personal med kit. Personal med kit, I would suggest, is not in your backpack. It will be on your uniform, on your fatigues.
Okay.
So just look at your character sheets. Make sure that you're marking anything that you don't want to take. For example, you've got night vision goggles. Has Lieutenant Parker? You've got a chemical agent detector.
Yeah.
So you may want to mark those as being left in your backpack.
Well, I might take the night vision goggles, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Because if it's getting dark as we make our way across there,
it
might make it easier to see what we're looking for.
And what I'll do later after the session tonight is I'll take everyone's food and water out and stick it in the Humvee.
Yeah.
And then every day that we have, we can take one off for every person in the camp, and then that'll determine how much you need to then spend some time hunting for food and scrounging for water and stuff. So again, bear that in mind. If you're ever looking around, you need to basically find an abandoned building, search it, spend some time searching it. You never know what you may find.
Yeah.
Okay.
In terms of the Humvee that we have,
yes,
with all of us, is that now like a max capacity?
No, it's you've got basically there's 6 people. 6 people. There's 2 more slots for passengers. Okay. So you've got Dodie, Parker, you've got Michaels, who's the radio operator. You've got the captain, you've got Kobe, and you've got Rick. So there's 2 stretchers. So the captain is on 1 stretcher. The other stretcher is normally left empty, and you probably would rotate someone sleeping on it so they get a semi-decent night's sleep in there. There's 2 crew slots at the front and 4 crew slots at the back.
Okay.
So yeah, you have space for 2 more people if you find 2 more people, and you still have a bit of cargo space.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. If there was anybody there that might need a lift, we might be able to offer that as trade for something. That was all. You've got space. Yes, you could do that. They'd have to sit in the back, but then again, that would give the ability for several members of your party to be able to protect the group. Yeah,
and protect the people.
Okay. Well, let's move out then.
Okay. I take it that Kobe, you'll be leading the way as our
recon,
as our ranger. Okay. So we don't in this game. You don't make individual stealth rolls. It's done as the group.
Okay.
So the person if you're trying to sneak up or ambush someone, the person that rolls is the one with the worst skill. Okay.
Fair enough.
That's it's just one of those lovely things. But we're gonna kind of play a little bit of fast and loose with the system, because I don't want to get too grindy with things. I want the story that you're going to tell me to go as fast as we can while still maintaining that fun element. Okay. So we may take a little bit of a license with some of the rules as I still learn the rules. First time GMing this game in this format for a long time. Right. Okay. So who has got the crappiest recon roll? A recon skill. So you may all have good skills.
I got B.
Nada.
Okay.
Nada is it.
It's old Clumpy then.
Yeah.
We shall call him Clumpy from now on. He's got his Scottish boots there. And there isn't actually, you come to think of it, now you're out in the fresh air and away from the city. Did you notice that, maybe a wash
Nice.
It's good.
Scottish boots
Oh, nice.
are fine, by the way.
Ah.
I
Very
get 6.
Oi!
Hey! You
You know what?
Success.
I always said that about the Scots. They make the best boot, you know?
Yeah, they're sneaky bastards, aren't they?
They are,
my
yeah.
French. Right.
They are.
Okay. Okay, you kind of there. Kobe, you're kind of in the lead, and Dodie's probably next to you with the good lieutenant. Sorry, the good lieutenant following up slightly behind. You can see now a little bit of smoke just wisping through the trees. As you're there, stealthily making your way, you just kind of hear a click of a gun. And as you kind of just look to the trees, you can see the fire. You can see a couple of people hunched around it. And one of them's noticed you, not military, look like civilians, but they're in some, heavy coat and gear and hats. And it's definitely a civilian rifle, hunting rifle that he's got.
Okay.
And just kind of looks and turns over. Just kind of raise it, not in a full, gun to the eye aiming at you, but it's just kind of pointed the weapon in your direction. And you can see 2 other people around him.
Okay. I'll step forward then.
Okay.
I'll shoot Kobe
smell
a
cooking.
glance though as I do that. Shoot Kobe a glance to be ready. I'll step forward, holding up my hands. Easy now.
Okay, they kind of look at you. You can also now pick up the smell of cooking meat.
Oh.
I don't know. Chicken? No, can't be chicken. Everyone tastes like chicken. Beef? I don't know. You can smell cooked meat though. You can see the kind of there. Kind of looking you over.
Hey, guys, just in case you didn't get the latest news, Russians moved into Khalid's. You might not want to set fire so close to the city. Might not be safest thing. Where are you guys coming from?
Ah.
You're not Russian. You're Americans.
Oh.
No, pal. No American,
Kinda-
that's...
You kind of look at you and kind of as if trying to hear what you're saying and
Yeah.
husky.
You speak English?
Little. Some.
No, we're not Russian. I can't get this fucking accent nailed. Give
You're
up.
doing it.
Give
Go
up,
on.
mate. Give up.
You're doing it. You're doing it.
It's
Keep
weird.
going.
It's beautiful.
Okay. And again, you can smell food cooking.
I don't suppose any of you are a doctor, are you?
Shakes. No. No. No.
Veterinarian?
So he points towards the direction of Khalees. Russians. Ruskies. He starts pointing there. You need to go.
Well, I think he's telling us something we already know, right? But
He doesn't know you know that.
no.
Yeah.
How are you guys? How are Dodie and Kobe? How are you carrying your weapons? How are you acting?
I believe I would be carrying my weapon in an unthreatening manner at this point. I mean, we're looking at civilians.
Okay.
There's no reason to make a tense situation any more tense.
Right. Okay. Cool. Cool. And Dodie yourself.
Yeah, the same.
Same. Okay. So down very, very passively. Okay. Again, you can all smell the food. Trade. You want trade?
So. Oh. What is it you need?
You need you say it kind of seems like he's struggling to kind of put the words into English. He's definitely not a fluid speaker. You need you said
Doctor. We need a doctor.
doctor
Medicine.
doctor medicine doctor Nashlimsley doctor, yes. No doctor here. Turek.
Oh.
Turek. I Turek from Turek.
Well.
The doctor. Henrik doctor. Turek.
Correct.
Is he not?
I'll ask him if he's seen any Russians on this road.
Go on then. How are you going to do it? How are you asking?
Using words.
Obviously, you.
I'm gonna do it.
You know, you're pointing at uniform
in the form of modern dance.
modern dance.
That's the medium. That's my chosen medium.
Okay.
Parker,
In English, or are you going to
feeling
try?
all right? What's got into you?
Well, he said Ruskies, so he clearly understands that.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to basically ask him, has he seen any Ruskies on this road?
Tank. Boom.
Well, that's
Tank.
bloody bad news, isn't it?
Kilish.
No, the intelligence officer speaks Russian, Dave, not Polish.
Well, that's the question. Being in Poland for all these years, would we be able to make an empathy roll to determine if the accents, mannerisms are Polish?
Okay, yeah, go on then, make a roll. Yeah, I like the idea of that. Let's make a roll on that.
Oh, nice.
Okay. You're picking up very Eastern Polish accent. The guy looks to be in his 40s. Looks quite rough. Possibly he may know some Russian. He's of the age to have been under before Poland became independent free. And it's definitely a more Eastern Polish accent. So you know that Parker speaks Russian. Maybe he tried Russian and might have a better idea of that. That's kind of, you're just picking up that sort of more Russian aspect to his mannerisms and his accent.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how Kobe would communicate that to Parker in the in this situation.
I would just probably say to Parker, maybe practice a little bit of your Russian here. I think with your accent, he'll get a sense that you're not native-born Russian, but you might.
I don't know. I'm pretty bloody good.
Oh yeah, that's
You can actually speak Russian without the Welsh accent. You're good.
From now on,
From now on, you can do that. Yeah.
Parker is speaking nothing but Russian.
While you're talking, you can talk without the Welsh accent. Yes.
I just say to him then, you speak Russian?
No, yes, I speak Russian. You speak Russian as well.
Da. That's the only bit of Russian you'll get out of me, other than spasiba, which I will say at the end of this conversation.
Okay, and again, you guys who don't speak Russian are kind of, you may pick up the odd word of Russian that you've heard, or, Russians came through 4 tanks this morning to Kalis. Doctor in Turek. I spent time in Turek.
The Russians are not in Turek. It's the road. This road. They will be traveling on that road.
They
road
came.
from Turek.
Russians came south down this road towards Kalis. Yes. Whether they are in Turek, I don't know. I have not been to Turek for 3-4 months. We were out trying to find food. We have food. Okay. Meanwhile, as you kind of Dodie and Kobe, just basically to make a recon roll. Just kind of looking around and keeping an eye out from the roads and just keeping an eye on the other two. Just have a recon roll for me while the.
Oh.
See, we got a good spec ops guy here. Okay, so yes, you, Kobe. You can see now that this campfire, as Parker is talking, obviously communicating with this Polish national, this civilian. You can see there's a nice little fire and there's some chunks of meat on the actual fire cooking, a spit. Looks like a joint of beef or something, It's looks freshly killed. Could be deer, but you can't see any carcass. As you're kind of just looking around, you just kind of caught something. There's something flashing, just kind of catches into your eye. Just kind of look just beyond them. You can just see, looks like an old watch strap, and there's a shoe over there as well. Just maybe 10-15 meters away, beyond the campfire. Maybe the sunlight just caught on the metal of the strap. Just kind of caught your eye, and you kind of glance over. You can see there's some blood on the shoe as well. Meanwhile, Lieutenant Parker, you want to try meat?
What do you want for it?
Ammo for guns. We have hunting rifles and we have 2 Russian AKMs at our camp. Do you have any Russian ammo? He kind of gets a knife and just goes and just turns towards the joint. Meanwhile, Dodie, you're kind of just looking around and you're keeping an eye more on the road than anything else. You can't see anything. You can see as you look south towards Kalis and where the main battle was, and you can still see the fires and the smoke from the devastation just in the sky. Not too much, but in the distance away. Can't see much about it. Just see the smoke there.
I'm actually, since I'm around Dodie, I'm gonna probably try to grab his attention, Dodie, and kind of nod over to where I'm looking at a boot that appears to have blood on it. That thing that was glinting. I'm not at all thinking that's like a scope of a sniper's rifle. That kind of glinting.
No,
that's really the watch or something there. So.
Something metal. It could be a bullet, shell casing, but shell casing the brass, and that's kind of like it's like a silvery metal glint.
So maybe they have somebody hurt here who needs the help of a medic. Maybe we could trade our medical services for some food. If indeed that's what that bloody boot is telling me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm out of character. I mean, would Dodie recognize the boot as like an American combat boot or something, or would it be belonging to a civilian?
Definitely civilian. Definitely not a military boot.
So it's not like they've murdered some American soldiers.
No, no, it's not. It's not a military boot, Russian or American or British.
I think just the road. The road probably took its toll on their group. Maybe. Looking around, does it seem like there are anybody that is more hurt? Or I mean, I'm trying to assess the group.
There's basically 3 of them, and that's it. None of them look like they're hurt. All 3 of them have rifles, whether they're old bolt action or old civilian rifles, effectively. You can see one looks like it's a shotgun, actually. They've got knives strapped to belts. They've got fairly heavy clothing for the time of year, but it looks like they've been out hunting at night from the fact that they're cooking up what they've obviously been catching. But you haven't seen many animals running around here, especially since the battle, because of the amount of noise and shell.
That changes things a little.
Hey, LT, why don't you ask? Sorry, LT, over there. Looks like they have a pile of possessions. I know where they got that stuff from. Where are they getting bloody boots from?
And as I kind of see that, my head's going to turn slowly towards what's roasting on the fire.
Yep.
Oh.
What we serving, boys?
Dear. He smiles.
Well,
you don't want to trade for food?
Can I tell what it is that's on the fire? Can we tell what kind of
Dodie wants a piece of that because he knows his butchery. He's a farmer.
Yeah, Dodie is a farmer. Yeah. So I believe the farming gives you a. What does it give you? A
modifier to survival.
Survival. Okay. Okay, yeah. Make a survival roll. You get and click when you click your skill, there'll be a little box saying +1 for farmer. So you're going to click that.
Oh, balls.
No, you can't tell what sort of meat it is, but it smells damn good.
Yeah.
Too far away. I don't know what that is. What you thinking, Mr. Parker?
Tell you what, with your empty bellies and after that MRE early this morning, that smells good.
Oh, You don't have any medicine?
No.
I'll trade medicine for ammo, but nothing else.
No medicine. Maybe you not trade. You maybe move on. Just
I'm gonna let them see that I'm looking towards where that corpse is.
Can just see the shotgun.
Yeah.
Armed individual. Just kind of doesn't aim the shotgun at you, but he kind of just turns it now in your general direction. Just turning his body so that it will be a quick lift up, and it's there.
Yeah.
What about a medical roll for me to determine what is on that bit?
Yeah, I mean, I've
intimated enough.
I've intimated enough to Kobe that I think it's a bit of body. So
okay,
yeah,
exactly.
I
think make a medical roll then.
Hey.
I think the jury's
I'll tell you
come
what.
to a conclusion.
You were on an operation fairly early in the war, and there was an explosion, and the smell of that fireball going off, that incendiary grenade going off on that Russian soldier. God, it's a very familiar. Yeah, that doesn't smell like anything that you'd find on your barbecue at home. Yeah, maybe it could be. Yeah.
As I see that farmer with the shotgun kind of move his weapon a little bit closer to being ready, I will also move mine, be a little bit more ready, and go LT. Time to.
Yeah, I say in English then. Basically, leave nothing we want. And I'm holding my hands up like that.
They have something they want.
And I say in Russian, we're going. Okay? We're going. Okay?
Be safe.
Okay.
At this point, we'll take our break.
Okay.
Troy.
Okay.
So you kind of stepped away, and
Yeah, I'm kind of backing off. I think backing away, keeping an eye on the guy, particularly the one that had the shotgun that's just kind of swung towards us. I'm hoping that Kobe is as good as everybody says he is, particularly Anderson.
Kobe's also hoping that.
And I mean, I don't think I'll have seen whether Dodie's any good. Dodie's looks like a bruiser though, doesn't he? He's a big fella, right?
he's a bit of a big fella.
Yeah.
He's been around the block a few times.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that those guys, if anything kicks off, they're quicker. But I guess we'll see.
Okay, so back to the scene as set. The campfire is there. Smell of, can I say it, meat, burning flesh. Tidy bit of beef. Off the back of a lorry, maybe. Is there. As you kind of back away from them.
Yeah.
They're not aggressively pushing it against you aggressively. They're kind of happy that you seem to be moving away from them. You can see that the leader that you were speaking to kind of turns and starts rapidly speaking, definitely Polish, it's definitely not Russian.
Okay.
Just starts talking to the other one with a rifle, and the shotgun one now is, as you're going a bit further out of range, kind of not. It's kind of he almost looks a bit more nervous because you're kind of out of that effective range of his weapon.
Oh, okay.
But as you kind of move away, are you turning backs or just backing away? How are you leaving?
I want to back away until we're kind of out of sight.
Okay. Well,
or at least
you push
kind of
away
amongst the trees so that we've got a little bit of cover before.
Yeah. You kind of push through and away from the tree, and you kind of, are you going directly back towards the Hummer, or are you going off in a different direction so you're not leading them back to?
I'm going to say, let's not hang about here, lads.
Okay.
But we're not
let's
keeping the Hummer LT. Maybe next time we run into a bunch of guys cooking food off the side of the road, we should ask them if they're cooking Russian food or Polish food.
Good question. Yes. So basically, you're kind of going almost kind of
Yeah,
one
we're gonna
side away from the road or towards the road. Just looking at whether you're going to try and cross the road or whether you're going to go back towards into the west through the forest away from them and do a circle round.
Oh, I don't think we're going to cross the road straight away. I don't want to lead them until what I will be doing is I'm going to be using any of the training that I've had to kind of. Wait, I'm saying to the guy as well. Keep an eye out, lads. Let's see we're not being followed.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have Kobe make a recon roll, and you can have a +1 for the assistance of, say, Dodie.
Okay.
You're covering basically behind you and Dodie, and Parker is covering basically the move ahead.
Ooh.
Okay. You don't think you're being followed.
That's a good sign.
And as soon as we get that feeling that we're in the clear, we'll move for I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes maybe. I don't know what, we're heading south.
Okay, yep.
And then before we decide to kind of cut across the road, and when we're fairly sure that nobody's following us, we cut across the road and head back towards the trees where the Hummer is.
Okay, right. Parker, can you make a recon roll now, please? No bonus though, because you're covering ahead and they're covering behind.
Oh.
Wow.
Hey.
Oh.
Nice. Okay, yes, you're quite a little bit away from these guys and the camp. You're still just on the edge of the tree, but you've moved west of where they were, and you kind of see something ahead on the floor. A rustling of leaves and bush
Oh. It's someone in a ghillie suit.
on the floor. You're not sure it's a ghillie suit, but there's definitely some movement in a brushy area just on the edge of the forest, maybe 15-20 meters ahead of you. It's the opposite direction to where the camp was, and you can hear, you thought you heard maybe some breathing, but it's kind of gone silent now, as maybe if there was someone there, they noticed you.
Okay. So I kind of stopped dead and I kind of crouched down. I'm pointing over in that direction to Dodie and Kobe.
Okay.
And then I'll just whisper, I think I saw someone.
I'll go around a bit to flank, meaning you saw somebody 20 meters ahead, then maybe move off on the side.
Okay, so you're going to go flank off. Dodie, you going to stay with the LT?
Yeah.
Cover your officer. Okay, right. Let's have a recon roll from Kobe as a stealth. Lovely.
Good rolls.
Okay,
All right.
you kind of move a little bit north of where they are, and you're kind of moving around and heading towards, from the side, the sort of bush and the area where Parker pointed to. As you approach, you can definitely see some reds and some brown, looks like hair. Looks like there's definitely a figure trying to hide, putting a bush and putting some leaves over them. You don't see any guns pointed at Parker and Dodie. You do see the glint of metal. Maybe a knife. What's your intentions?
To just briefly, take in the scene. Do I detect any other people around trying to hide?
No. Your roll was good enough that you've identified that bush. There's someone in the bush. You see some reds, which is an unnatural color amongst the greenery of the bush and the brush. And just a quick scout around and scan around. No, you don't sense or see any other ambush. Your military training is kind of saying that's the point of contact. There's no Overwatch covering that position from anywhere.
Well, I'm gonna take a chance. I'm gonna go up and grab the person and kind of yank them out, and then say, "LT, it's okay. It's one civilian, but I wanna have a hand on that civilian."
Okay, so you're going to try and do some sort of grapple and grab the person, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of carefully kind of shoulder your weapon and move in. Let's just have a close combat roll.
Oh.
Right, which of course I'm not trained in, but good. Let's try.
Oh,
Lovely.
Oh, wow.
Hang on. Okay. Yeah, you kind of grab the bush, pull it aside, jump in, and you grab a figure, maybe 5'2", long, red hair, scraggly, white face, female, fairly young.
And at that point, I want to shush her. Shh. There are cannibals in this forest. I want to shush her.
You can see there's
so that she
dirt on her face. She looks very, very gaunt. There's definitely tear stains around her eyes, and you would say she's been hidden here for a while. And she's kind of, you've got her, but she's kind of trying to pull away from you, as if she's absolutely scared of you.
All right, I'm knowing that this is the situation now. With one hand grabbing her, my other hand, I'm gonna open up my ammunition pouch, which makes that Velcro noise, like 1, 2, 3, like.
Yeah.
To give the LT an idea of where I am and.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you
come without shouting out to him.
Yeah. You guys, Dodie and Parker. You watched Kobe kind of flank around. You kind of get ready, and you kind of see him leap into the bush. Grab something, and you can see he seems to be holding someone.
At that point, we'd move up, wouldn't we?
You move up, yes.
Yep.
Okay, so you can, as you can say, you kind of probably got her pushed against the ground. Or how would you have her? I mean, she's trying to shirk away from you. She doesn't look.
No. I'm not aggressively pushing her into the ground.
Okay, right, yeah, she's trying to pull away from you. She's scared.
Yeah,
right. And
like
the fact that you haven't got a weapon out is,
okay,
it's.
No. Now, just a quick glance over her. Do I notice a knife in a hand that I have to take control of, or at the belt, or anything?
There's a knife on the ground where you grabbed her. It's almost like that maybe she was holding it and dropped it as you grabbed her.
I'll kick it to the side of it. Keep an eye on it.
Okay. Yep. Just kind of. Okay, gauging at her. Looks like she's not eaten. She looks a little malnourished. Tear stains around her eyes. Dirty face. Hair is browny red. Long, comes down to about her shoulder. It's a bit unkempt. There's a bit of leaves and foliage in her hair, as if she's been hiding for a while, and she looks absolutely scared. You can't tell. She's white, definitely European, and probably Polish, but she hasn't said a word at the moment.
Yeah, I'll certainly wait for Dottie and Parker to come by and just tell her, we're going to take you to a Polish city. Do you want to go to a Polish city? I'm trying to engage her in a calming manner, see if she'll answer any
Okay.
questions in English.
Okay.
I don't want to tell her where we're going in case she doesn't come with us and tells other people, but I want to say, hey.
Yeah. Make a persuasion roll. Let's use that tone of voice.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't know if she understands you, but you know that in stressful situations, a soft, gentle voice seems to maybe be a bit reassuring.
Kobe can be soft and gentle.
Okay, she is still kind of trying to be away from you, but her breathing has kind of slowed a bit as you just talk in some quite soft tones to her. You know, you're not trying to kill her, you're not trying to be aggressive on her, but you are there just kind of, and she seems to calm down just a little bit. But she still looks very, very scared.
Yeah, I would be too if there were cannibals like just, down the forest. My name is Kobe. Kobe. What's your name?
Just kind of looks at you. Now she sees the approach of Dodie and Parker. She's kind of just eyes kind of going back to your contact, and trying to look at that softness in the voice or hear that softness in the voice. Yet she's seeing two more men come up towards her, and she's kind of, and then she just kind of grabs hold of you and hugs you. She's grabbed hold of you.
LT Kobe. Dodie LT Kobe. What's your name? Food. Would you like some food? We have spare food. We will feed you. LT, I don't think she speaks English.
Just a kid.
Yeah, it looks about 13, 14.
I can't leave her here.
Can you guys actually I'll have Dodie make the recon roll. Dodie, make a quick recon roll.
Yeah,
have a +1 for the fact that, you've got the assistance basically of your two companions here. But let's have you make that roll.
He's looking around, he's looking around just to kind of watch our flank, watch the forest line, watch the road line.
Okay. You notice as you're just kind of scanning around and keeping an eye back on where the little encampment was, you notice that she's actually missing a shoe. She's only got one trainer on.
She's not missing any limbs, is she?
No, she's not missing any limbs. No. But she's only got one shoe on. One trainer, one rough, crappy, looks like a Polish knockoff of Puma. Eastern European, yes. You kind of just this kind of steps away from you.
I've got my gun. I'm holding my gun ready, like scanning, and I just kind of look at Mr. Parker. I'm just like, and I point down at her feet with my and I think of it, and I put my gun away, and I just take my hand off it and say, Mr. Parker, you don't think that I can't remember if actually it was pointed out the bloody shoe or not, but anyway.
Well, no, I mean, does it look? Yeah,
you would have basically pointed out somewhere as you were moving away the reason why you moved away.
Yeah, right. Look, she's missing a shoe. It's like the other one, the one that you saw.
Ooh.
LT, I was kind of okay leaving the hunters there because, I mean, who knows? Maybe somebody was ill and they're just recycling in a dramatic way. However, if we're putting two and two together and this girl was a prisoner of those, and that's what these people are capable of, man, this place is hell, but we gotta try to leave it a better place. You know what I'm saying?
I look at the girl and I kind of crouch down so I'm at her height, and I say, "Do you speak English?"
Kind of just looks at you and
I say something. I say the same thing in Russian.
You say in Russian, do you speak English?
No, obviously, there's a slight variation. I mean, yeah, why not?
okay, she seems to understand more the Russian.
Okay.
She shakes her head.
I having a horrible feeling I know what's coming, I kind of say, do you have any family in the area?
She kind of looks at Kobe, who's fairly young, and Parker, who's fairly youngish. And she kind of looks at Dodie, who's a bit older. She kind of just points towards the forest.
Back where the hunters were?
Basically, yeah, in that general direction. You just see a tear just starts to come down out of her eye.
Did those men hurt you?
LT, we can't give her back her family, but we could sure damn well get her back her boot.
Papa.
Yeah.
Papa. Just eyes kind of, tears again coming out of her eyes now.
Yeah. I kind of, I look down at her kind of sympathetically and across to Kobe, and I just like, I kind of, I meet his gaze momentarily and I kind of look down and just say, look, we probably don't have the ammo or the time to waste.
So I missed that. You cut out.
Oh, we probably don't have the ammo or the time to wait.
Do we know they have weapons? They have the capability to continue to terrorize the population here. It's just not right. We can't get her back to the Humvee. 5 minutes, we'll be back with her boot.
Did we? How many of them were there? Did we?
3. 1 with a shotgun, 2 with hunting rifles.
Bit of a bloody risk, isn't it?
That's why you're the captain, or the LT, I should say. Done right.
I really think we ought to
risk.
get off this thing. I'm not the bloody LT, all right? The ranks mean nothing here. Dodie, what do you think?
How old are your kids, Dodie, by the way?
Yeah, the eldest is 20 odd. The youngest,
And you've got 1 in the army. Is that the oldest one?
yeah, the daughter's the youngest one as well. 2 older sons, and a younger daughter she'll be in her late teens if I can't quite have done the math yet, but thereabouts.
Okay, so maybe a bit older than this girl here.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah.
I mean, Parker is
He's-
sympathetic. Carry on, Dodie.
Yeah, Dodie just says, "Look, this whole place is. We just gotta get out of here. We gotta get moving. We can't stop and help ourselves and stop every injustice. We have to get out, and we're not gonna do it if we're bringing Ragtail. We don't even know where she's from. We could take her back and drop her at the road or something. Who knows? The Russians get hold of her. They'll do a lot worse than cook her on a fire, that's for sure.
I'm not consigning this girl's life to the Russians or to being cooked at a fire.
Well, we bring her with her. If you're asking, then we're bringing her with her. We'll get her back. We've got space. We'll get her warm, and we'll drop her at the first town that we come to. She's not our family.
Yeah, I'm kind of nodding as he's kind of saying that, not looking at anybody in particular. Yeah. Is that good enough for you? Looking at Kobe.
Not good enough, but better than nothing.
With that smoke signal that they're giving out to the Russians, I'm pretty sure it'll not be us that needs to be finishing them off, by the way. I didn't want to spend any time closer to such an obvious signal if there's been tanks rolling. One shell. They're good enough to take that out.
Question is, do we go to Turek or do we carry on to Konin?
I didn't see any reason to doubt the farmers telling us that there's a doctor in Turek. Had we been the weaker group, I know what they would have done to us. We were the stronger, and they knew it too. So we had their respect at least.
Well, they said there was a doctor in. And it's closer.
All right. I hope the decision you make here doesn't wind up haunting you for the rest of your days.
I don't meet his gaze again. With a bloody drink.
You wouldn't want to drink the fuel you've got, though, even though it's alcohol.
Yeah, and I'll look away.
But if you think about it, you have at the moment no way to make any more fuel.
No.
Damn. That's another thing you need to worry about.
Look, first things first, okay?
Yeah, there's no lack of things to worry about in Twilight 2000.
Every day is a new one. With new problems.
Are we taking her? Will she come quietly? We can't afford to have her making a noise every 5 meters. We're trying to be quiet.
I'll say to her
I
then.
don't think anybody else is following us. Nobody's followed us. We've gone the circuitous route and we're moving out. We're not staying here. Hell, we've only traveled 10 kilometers today.
Yeah. I kind of look down at the little girl again and I say, we have food and we can take you. We're heading to Turek. Do you have anybody you know in Turek?
LT, ask her about Dr. Heinrich.
Well, have you ever been to Turek? She's never been.
She kind of points towards Khalees.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's no bloody good, is it?
Okay.
I say in Russian then to her, we're heading to Turek. We can take you there. There's people there, right?
Yeah, as far as you know, there'll be people in Turek, yes.
Yeah.
It's not been devastated by a tactical nuke. You don't know what the state is. More than likely, there'll be battle damage. There would have been a fight going through there. It's not going to be a town that is totally undamaged. There's no electricity now, really, unless they can find a way of generating their own or using generators to power.
Okay. Right. Anyway, does she seem like she wants to come with us?
she's kind of staying quite close to Kobe.
Yeah.
She kind of looks at you,
Like she's
Kobe.
your problem now.
I won't be sleeping well tonight.
You need the rest.
Really
You'll be
won't.
sleeping well. It'll be
You'll-
Dodie on watch. Okay. You make your way back across the road to the Humvee. As you are, just crossing the road, you see the Humvee where you left it, and you do see a Grayson with a weapon pointing at you as you kind of come into view, and it kind of motions you over.
She doing? The Humvee.
She's still alive. You picking up passengers, LT?
Brenda Kobe's.
It was either that or she was just going to be another recipe on the menu.
Yeah, less
Shit.
said about that, the better.
Aye.
So nothing over there. No. Okay.
Nothing we're interested in.
The captain, she's still alive, but she's hurt. At least we need to find somewhere to get her some treatment. I need medicine. I need equipment.
They told us about a town, about 10 clicks to the northeast. We could probably get there, scope it out from the distance. They said there's a doctor there. You want us to be driving there now? Man, look round at Parker.
If we took the road, we could get there pretty quick, couldn't we?
Yeah, pretty quick. Yeah.
Do you have any idea how long she's got?
I'm worried about the wound getting infected. I've got nothing really major to clean it with. I've patched it up, but the shell is still in her back. And she can't move her legs. I figure she needs surgery. I need a place where we can look at her more than at the back of this Hummer. If there's a town nearby, if we can trade anything for medical supplies or a place for her to... That sounds good to me.
All right. Let's pack up. Move out.
Okay. You get back in the Hummer.
Mm.
And it's a bit early, but we will call it there.
Okay.
This evening. As you contemplate the true cost of war, the true suffering, and the true pain and struggle that is out there to stay alive in Poland in World War III.
That could be us in a few weeks.
Well, you didn't die, guys.
No.
That means you get to play again.
As the same characters.
As the same characters, yes. We haven't needed to roll any backup characters yet.
Yep.
It's good. Yeah, you could have gone into combat, and that would have been interesting. But yeah, I'm impressed. I'm happy with how it's going. Hope you enjoyed it.
We made a decision.
You made a decision.
Yeah.
You made a decision, and you stuck by it.
We're turning into the direction of the Russian forces.
That was, I wanted to avoid that at the very, very start, but yeah.
Well, you choose, compassion, the morality
it's our downfall.
The morality of life, of saving. I mean, what if it was one of you guys that it's shot? one gunshot wound could quite easily cause you lots of damage. Okay, right. Before we go, how they do experience in this game is we basically take 2 minutes or a few minutes at the end of the game.
Okay.
And we look at how you've done. And you've got to talk and justify about how you did. So everyone will get 1 experience point for participating tonight.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, it's page 40 in the manual.
Okay.
On the character sheet.
On the character sheet, it's there on top right on the.
Yes, XP current, XP total. So everyone gets 1 point for participating. The questions we have to ask, and I ask the questions, and then you guys have to determine whether you did this. So, for example, did you follow your moral code despite significant risk to your group? So, to each of you, did you follow your moral code? Well, let's have a look. Dodie, your moral code is we're either cattle, we're farmers.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Dodie has grown up amongst livestock and has had to make life and death decisions regularly, and he views the decisions that have to be taken are justified, and often from a financial, but also from a suffering, and prolonging suffering of animals isn't something that he wants to do. But nor will he be waylaid, nor will his operations or his goals be waylaid by undue baggage. If he can cut ties, then he will. But he's also he's a soldier, so he follows his arm. He follows.
So, do you feel you followed your moral code? And chat, you guys can get involved in this as well.
Get involved, chat.
Did he follow his moral code?
Well, he certainly wasn't. He was certainly vocal against going in and getting embroiled more deeply. He recognised the threat, but it wasn't his family. It's not who he's trying to get back to, and so he didn't want to delay that. So I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll go along with that. I think he played that part of following orders and wanting to get home. So I'd say yes as well. Now, definitely, pirates.
Yeah.
Your moral code. Do you want to say what your moral code is?
Parker's moral code is, I'm a lover, not a fighter. I'll always try to talk my way out of a situation before resorting to violence. And I think he probably did. He did specify before they even went across that we weren't going to shoot anybody. And at least did I say that in my own head and didn't say it out loud? I can't remember.
No, you said that. Yeah.
No, you did say yes. Yeah. You wanted to avoid a conflict.
Conflict, and he did also. He was reluctant to kind of go back, despite Kobe's protestations.
Yep.
To go and finish off those guys, even though he probably knew that it was probably something that they should have done.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I think that he kind of followed that code.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would have to say any different.
No. Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah. So let's have a look at Kobe.
Well, I won't be getting an XP for that one because my moral code is simply, we should have been able to prevent this war. Whatever we did wrong, we should.
I have to agree.
Do better. And I was this close to stomping off and just letting everybody follow me. But something in my, military discipline.
Can I offer a counterpoint to this?
You can.
The moral code.
But he was also very reluctant to leave that girl behind. He was definitely not going to do that. Which I think would play into that we have to do better part of your moral code.
I have to agree that you did want to do better with it.
So
You wanted to save it. Yes, you wanted to go back and finish off the guys that did this, whatever they did. But the
I was just going to
priority
get her boot.
yeah,
yeah,
the priority was doing better, and you taking that time. For me, I think you did do better. So I would kind of agree and say, yeah, let's go there this time.
have an XP.
Yeah, have an XP point.
All right.
Okay, did you risk or sacrifice something significant to realize your big dream? Well, really, none of you did. It wasn't
No.
about realizing or sacrificing something for your big dream. So we're going to say no there.
Yep.
You traveled through one hex you've not visited before. So yeah, we'll have an XP for the travel.
Oh.
And
Okay.
did you overcome one or more dangerous events using violent or non-violent means? You did.
We did,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
You did.
I'm fine.
So I'll quite happily go with that. And none of you risked your lives for a buddy,
Nope.
but I think you've done fairly well. Now, before we finish off, and I think that fits, and it's nice to have this discussion over it as well. Not yet, says Dave. Yes, just a reference for leveling up. You increase the skill level by 1 step, costs a number of XP indicators on the table. So if you're going from a D to a C, it's 10 points. C to a B is 15, and a B to an A is 20. In order to raise a skill, you must also have used it successfully once since your last increase. So you couldn't raise a skill that you've not used in the session.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
The other things you get is specialities. They need to be taught to you, but you can spend XP on specialities. So, for example, Dodie could teach you all about, if he spent a significant amount of time, all about farming. And you could get the farming speciality, but you need a lot of training for that.
Does that cost XP as well?
And that costs XP as well. Yeah. It's a base 10 points of XP to learn a specialization.
Okay.
And a specialization gives you +1 on your skills or +1 to a skill attempt. And anything else we'll go through next time because we didn't have any combat.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Thank you very much for playing. I hope you enjoyed.
Are we on
Yeah, I had a
5
great time.
or 4?
We're on 4, I think.
4, I think, yes.
Yeah, I
Or
think we should be. Yeah.
one shy.
Cool.
One shy indeed. But I think none of you rolled a skill. Maybe one of you did, which you didn't have any basic training in. So, Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.